Cześć, witam Was serdecznie w kolejnym filmie na moim kanale i jak widzicie po tytule dzisiaj obejrzymy sobie wywiad z Fioną Harvey. Wywiad, na który chciałam powiedzieć, czekał cały świat, ale na pewno większość osób, może nie cały świat. Prawie 1 milion osób oglądało na żywo ten wywiad. W tej chwili ma on jakieś 8 milionów wyświetleń. No i jest to bardzo ciekawe, ponieważ z jednej strony potwierdziło się to, co dużo osób myśli na temat Fiony, a z drugiej ludzie patrzą na to inaczej. No i na samym początku, jeżeli nie wiecie, o czym mówię, to dzisiaj obejrzymy sobie wywiad z Fioną Harvey, osobą, która ponoć zainspirowała postać Marty w serialu Reniferek, który absolutnie pobija rekordy na Netflixie, na całym świecie chyba. Serial jest oparty na faktach, pokazuje prawdziwą historię Richarda, no i ludzie bardzo szybko zdołali znaleźć, kim jest ta serialowa Marta i ja mam o tym całą serię filmów, więc odsyłam Was tam, jeżeli nie wiecie, o co chodzi. No ale jeżeli jesteście na bieżąco, to dzisiaj wywiad z Martą. Zakładam słuchawki, przygotowujemy się na obejrzenie tego godzinnego wywiadu, który został przeprowadzony przez Piersa Morgana i to jest bardzo kontrowersyjny dziennikarz, który z nim nie ma to tamto. To jest mężczyzna, który mówi wszystko tak jak jest, kawa na ławę, więc ja mówiłam w ostatnim odcinku, że mi się wydaje, że on bardzo szybko ją zdominuje w tym wywiadzie. Niektórzy mówią, że zniszczy, więc obejrzymy i dacie mi znać, co myślicie. Jeszcze zanim zaczniemy, oczywiście będę komentowała tutaj ten wywiad, więc obejrzymy sobie cały, ale ja będę zatrzymywać, aby dawać swoje komentarze, ponieważ na tym polega mój kanał.
This show is incredible.
Baby reindeer.
You got absolutely obsessed.
Our beef curtain. I did not move.
Everybody is talking about baby reindeer.
Now fans are trying to find the real people behind the story.
Because it doesn't depict real life events.
It's blown up so quickly and so fast all around the world that I didn't expect it.
First of all, why have you decided to go public? When did you know that you were the person being depicted? He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you. Have you ever been to prison? What do you feel about Richard Gere? You think he's mentally unwell? Did you ever turn up at his house? Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about something? Here's the thing, I don't know the truth. You do. You look down the barrel of that camera. To people who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
Pierce jest osobą, która zdecydowanie zadaje pytania, których inni może by nie zadali i jestem bardzo ciekawa, czy uda jej się wybronić. Powiedziałam, że wiele z Was uważa, że ponieważ ona ma wykształcenie prawnicze, na pewno dobrze się wybroni, więc...
One of the first things that viewers of Baby Reindeer are told by Netflix is that this is a true story. Not based on a true story or inspired by real events, but a true story. It's emphatic about that. The show's writer, comedian Richard Gere, even plays the lead role himself. Many millions of people across the world have now seen it. It's one of the biggest Netflix shows of the year. And I've watched it all. It's a riveting, emotionally intense drama worthy of all the critical plaudits it's now receiving. Viewers are gripped by the apparently real-life struggle of a fledgling stand-up comedian who is mercilessly stalked by an older woman, Martha, in a 3-year onslaught of harassment. Martha bombards him with tens of thousands of lurid emails, leaving hundreds of voicemails, lurking outside his house, attacking his partner, even confronting his family and friends. Now, Richard Gere said that he and Netflix had gone to such great lengths to disguise Martha's real identity that she wouldn't even recognize herself.
I to jest coś, o czym wiele z Was mi pisało, że właśnie może to był specjalny zabieg, żeby powiedzieć, że Marta jest tak inna w rzeczywistości niż aktorka, aby ludzie właśnie, wiecie, to by było zbyt łatwe, tak? Że spojrzą na Fionę, bardzo podobna do Marty, to na pewno nie jest ona, więc nie wiem. Nie wiem, wydaje mi się, że to po prostu było, on tak powiedział, bo tak trzeba powiedzieć, bo nie mógłby powiedzieć, jak się tak zastanowimy, to nie mógłby pójść na ten wywiad i powiedzieć, tak, ona jest taka sama w rzeczywistości, bo nawet ze względów legalnych, prawnych, powinien właśnie tak jak powiedział, nie? Że nie, że ona jest inna, nie? Ale słuchajcie, coś na czym ludzie się prawie w ogóle nie skupiają, to kim był gwałciciel, czyli serialowy Darien. O tym już tak dużo się nie mówi. I to też musimy tu poruszyć, bo mi się wydaje, że to jest ważne. Nie wiem, czy to będzie na końcu tego filmu, bo ten film będzie naprawdę dzisiaj długi, ale on też jest bardzo podobny do tego serialowego, ten prawdziwy Darien, więc...
But that wasn't true. Many people did recognize her very quickly. And the woman at the centre of the story was outed online within hours simply by cross-referencing her posts on social media with those that were used in the show.
Ale ona też sama. Wiele osób mówi, że ona też sama potwierdziła, sama powiedziała, tak, to jestem ja. Nie musiała tego mówić, może nie byłoby wtedy tak dużo szumu na to wszystko, ale pójście do gazet, telewizji, do Pierce'a, na pewno to wszystko pogorszyło.
Other details about her character bear a striking, unavoidable similarity with the real woman now accused of being the crazed stalker Martha. The show raises uncomfortable questions about the line between fact and fiction, fantasy and reality. Another innocent man in the television industry has been falsely accused of sexual assault based on one of the storylines in the drama. Well, Fioną Harvey is the woman outed as the real Martha of Baby Reindeer. She's chosen to confirm her identity because she wants to have a right of reply. And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the studio. Well, thank you for joining me, Fiona. First of all, why have you decided to go public?
The internet sleuths tracked me down and hounded me and gave me death threats, so it wasn't really a choice. I was forced into this situation.
What do you hope to achieve in this interview?
I came on your show because you're a veteran broadcaster. I think you'll give me a fair hearing. You were persecuted yourself not so long ago. So that's why I've chosen this show.
Have you watched the drama?
Not at all. I've heard about the court scene, about the jail sentences and all this sort of stuff.
But you really haven't watched any of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
You're not curious to?
No, I think I'd be sick. It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic. Some of the death threats have been really terrible online.
Ja rozumiem. I nikt nie zasługuje na to, żeby dostawać groźby. Jednak ta kobieta ewidentnie żyje tym wszystkim, ponieważ ona naprawdę cały czas wypowiada się na temat tego wszystkiego na Facebooku. Sama daje wszystkim materiał do tego, by o niej dalej mówić, zamiast się troszkę usunąć z tego, albo nawet chociaż ustawić tego Facebooka na prywatny. To jest mój kanał i ja będę tu mówiła, jakie mam zdanie. Oczywiście jestem bardzo otwarta na to, jeżeli myślicie inaczej i z chęcią porozmawiam z wami w komentarzach, ale po przeczytaniu komentarzy pod moimi ostatnimi filmami powiem wam tyle, że ja nie jestem żadnym specjalistą, nie uważam się za psychologa, żadnego lekarza, broń Boże. I ja nie mogę zdiagnozować kobiety, tak, mówiąc, że ona jest, na pewno coś jest z nią nie tak. Bo tak też nie można powiedzieć. Wiele z was zauważyło, że ona ma takie cechy charakteru typowego narcyza. I to może być to. I wiele z was pisało mi, że bycie narcyzem nie jest chorobą, więc wiecie, no tu naprawdę bardzo dużo osób myśli różnie na ten temat, więc ja też nie wiem. Nie wiem, czy ona ma jakieś problemy, czy po prostu taka jest, czy jest narcyzem. Sama osobiście znam osoby, które mają cechy narcystyczne i no faktycznie one w ogóle, no to co oni mówią, to jest jedyna prawda, tak? Jakby nic innego się nie liczy i widzą życie zupełnie inaczej. Więc no ja tutaj nie będę oceniała, czy ktoś jest chory, czy nie. Też widziałam, że niektóre osoby podkreśliły w moich komentarzach, że gdyby to był mężczyzna, to prawdopodobnie wszyscy zareagowaliby inaczej, ale ponieważ to jest kobieta, to wiele osób właśnie mówi, że no tak, no ale ona po prostu jest chora, więc obejrzyjmy dalej, tylko mówię, żeby tutaj nikt się nie denerwował, że ja będę przerywać i mówić, co myślę i tym samym też zachęcam was, żebyście powiedzieli, co wy myślicie.
People phoning me up. You know, it's been absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't give credence to something like that, and it's not really my kind of drama.
When did you know that you were the person being depicted in this? 5
years ago on BBC Breaking News, I saw Mr. Gard had written a play for the Edinburgh Festival, and he was holding up placards, MP's wife stalker, and all of this, and he'd called it Baby Reindeer. That's all I knew. And I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him. And left it at that. I should have possibly jumped it at that stage.
And when did you know that Netflix were doing something?
2 weeks ago. I had just moved flats, so it was 2 weeks ago past Saturday.
And how did you hear?
I saw on BBC Breaking News that he'd sold to Netflix, and both he and this character, Martha, this Jessica actress, seemed to be promoting mercilessly.
Did you think then it was you that they were depicting?
I thought it was me they were depicting 5 years ago because of this MP's wife stalker article that had been a number done on me by the Sunday Mail 25 years ago when I was going for Donald Du's parliamentary seat. So I had a vague idea then. The Daily Mail then approached me on the Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. So sort of 2 weeks tomorrow. But 2 weeks ago, if you see what
Ona bardzo skupia się na datach, prawda? Tak, bardzo, bardzo. Ja jestem niesamowicie ciekawa i nie mogę się doczekać obejrzenia tych kanałów na YouTubie ze specjalistami od mowy ciała. Bo to jest bardzo ciekawe. Zresztą nie zdziwiłabym się, gdyby coś takiego pojawiło się też w telewizji, bo tutaj ta mowa ciała ewidentnie mówi dużo, nie?
Told me that I was getting death threats online, that I've been outed as Martha. There were TikTok videos.
Were you online at all? Because you were before, but are you these days online?
I've come off Facebook as of yesterday.
Are you on X, what used to be Twitter?
No, I'm not.
Because you had an account.
Yeah, that's right. Years and years ago. I'm scared to Google up BBC Breaking News. I'm certainly scared to Google up the Daily Mail in case I am on it in some bizarre circus.
That moment you realised it was you that they were depicting from what you were reading. The sleuths, as you say, had found your tweets. They compared some of the phraseology, they'd done the maths, and they worked out this was you that was being depicted. How did that make you feel?
Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I couldn't believe he'd done that. And so long after first meeting, you know, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, really horrendous. I didn't know who to trust. I was told by the Daily Mail, don't trust those bleeps in Scotland. Whereas I found John Dingwall of the Daily Record completely wonderful, actually. He's acted with total courtesy. I couldn't believe this had happened.
I want to play a little clip. This is just some of the reaction to Baby Reindeer from members of the public.
She ends up becoming the craziest stalker I ever seen in my life.
And this is all a true story?
This is all a true story, yeah. And they've found the real woman online.
So I assume in the actual thing, they've obviously given her a different name. It's a different woman, but you know what I find? They always manage to find a similar looking woman, and the build tends to be the same.
I have a theory about this, though. I feel like he's done it on purpose because he knew that people would find her and he wants to make her life hell a bit.
When you hear that, what do you think?
The final guy on there, I think, is correct. I think he always wanted this to come out, to persecute someone, to take attention away from him and this rape allegation. And I just generally think he's got extreme psychiatric problems. I
mean, there's no doubt he has problems. I mean, if you watch given that he's written it about himself, if you watch the whole thing as I did, all 5, 6 episodes, whatever it is, he has a lot of problems. He's quite open about that. The question, I guess, which we'll come to, is how much of the way he depicts you is true. And your position is that it's just not factual.
It's a work of fiction, it's a work of hyperbole, as I've always said. And there are 2 true facts in that. His name is Richard Gadd, and he worked as a jobbing barman on benefits in the Holy Arms, and we met 2 or 3 times. Those are the only.
Well, let's go through some of these things. So,
uwaga, zaczyna się.
You first met him. I mean, the show shows you coming in to a London pub. You've just named the pub, and he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd. And he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct. He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holy Arm.
To mi się już wydaje dziwne. Z tego, co oglądałam różne takie właśnie filmy na temat mowy ciała, tego, co ludzie mówią, jak właśnie te prawdziwe emocje i to, co mamy naprawdę na myśli, potrafimy pokazać właśnie w tej mowie ciała albo w dobiorze słów. On tu się pyta o tą herbatę, ona mówi, nie, w tym pubie nikt nie dostaje nic za darmo. To takie, czy to jest taka informacja, którą ktoś by podał, gdyby tak nie było? Jakby nie jest to niczym takim szokującym, że ktoś może komuś zaoferował coś za darmo, ponieważ zobaczył starszą od siebie kobietę, która na przykład była smutna tego dnia czy coś. No jest to jednak tylko ta filiżanka herbaty, tak? Więc...
I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's.
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment onwards.
I mean,
czyli już od początku mamy tutaj, że to nie ona miała obsesję, tylko to on miał obsesję na punkcie Fiony. Ciekawy jest komentarz tego właśnie, że on przerwał mi konwersację z kimś innym, mówiąc, że wow, jesteś Szkotką. Ten pub w Camden jest dosyć popularnym pubem. Ja nie wiem, czy to nie jest ten sam pub, w którym pracowała też Amy Winehouse, więc tam naprawdę chodzi dużo osób. W ogóle Camden, tak, jest bardzo taką popularną dzielnicą. No dużo tam, wszyscy turyści tam chodzą też, tak? Więc na pewno było dużo osób, więc nie wiem, czy barman miałby okazję, żeby kogoś zaczepić, tylko ze względu na to, że ona też jest Szkotką. Ona ma naprawdę, nie chcę powiedzieć obsesję, ale ona naprawdę skupia się dużo na byciu Szkotką. I ja to pokazywałam wam w zeszłych filmach, czytając jej posty na Facebooku, gdzie ona bardzo podkreśla, że Szkoci nie kłamią, że Szkot by tego nie zrobił. Ona bardzo podkreśla to, że nie jest z Anglii, tylko z Szkocji. No nie wiem, czy on też ma podobne taką, nie chcę powiedzieć obsesję, ale wiecie o co chodzi, takie podkreślanie tego, bo tu mi się już nie klei, nie?
Just speaking to you, I never met you before, but you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably younger than me. I think she's about 18 years younger than me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58. I'm a year younger than you. And I think Jessica, the actress, is about 40, 38, 40.
Czyli ona nie widziała serialu Netflixa, bo ona nie będzie tego wspierać, to nie jest jej typ programu, ale wie, kim jest aktorka. Ja wiem, że aktorka nie jest Szkotką, ale okej, ale wie, ile ma lat, wie, ile Pierce ma lat. Czyli, no nie wiem, no ja takich rzeczy na przykład nie wiem, dopóki sobie tego nie wygoogluję, więc ona tutaj coś już troszkę sprawdzała, prawda? No i aktorka nie ma za bardzo ciemnych włosów. Zresztą w ogóle słuchając teraz po raz pierwszy raz tak naprawdę Fiony, bo wcześniej widziałam klipy z jej starego Twittera, tak dalej, gdzie ona mówi o czymś tam, nie wiem nawet, ale głos słyszałam. Tutaj pierwszy raz słuchając jej tak naprawdę, to wow, ta aktorka naprawdę odegrała świetną rolę. Ten akcent, sposób wymowy, sposób jak ona akcentuje niektóre słowa jest naprawdę niesamowicie podobny. Więc aktorce naprawdę należy się jakaś nagroda za samo odegranie po prostu tego, jak ta kobieta mówi.
It says in the show that you proceeded to return to the same pub time and again, but you never paid for a drink.
I don't drink alcohol. And
did you pay for anything that you had in the pub?
Lemonade or soft drinks.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No, absolutely not. This is sort of a depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink. It's nonsense.
It says that you told Richard Gadd that he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed
Did you have a baby reindeer
I
toy?
had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he'd shaved his head. That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something. It was a joke. So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right. But that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a holy arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one day?
False.
You never saw him at your house?
I didn't see him at my house. I think it would be impossible to look through a window.
Did anyone else ever see him there?
No.
So as far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place?
Correct.
But the Netflix show has him doing that?
Yes, I believe so. I've been told that.
But that categorically didn't happen?
That categorically didn't happen.
Podobno jak ktoś kłamie, to właśnie bardzo tak, wiecie, tak było, to podobno taka mowa ciała oznacza, że właśnie tak nie było, ponieważ bardzo chcą nas przekonać mową ciała, że tak było. No wiadomo, że nie wszystko w tym show było prawdziwe, tak? Dlatego ja chyba mówiłam, że w 99%, no nie wiem, wierzycie jej? W tym momencie 10 minut wywiadu, jeszcze 44 minuty zostały. Trudno jej uwierzyć. Naprawdę trudno jej uwierzyć.
Your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively contacting
yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What did you send him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No.
Ile tam było? 41 000 e-maili? 42? To wychodzi średnio 37 maili dziennie. To ja nigdy tylu nie wysłałam. Ale jest to do zrobienia, tak?
I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is exactly
completely incorrect.
So you're denying sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you tweet him?
I may have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him numerous times.
No, it wasn't numerous. It was about 18 tweets there or 14
It's quite a lot to someone who's not that well known.
Czy wy wiecie, ile wysłaliście komuś tweetów? Bo on tutaj... On zaczynają, nie wiem, że tak się mówi, grillować nieźle, nie? Wysyłałaś wiadomości? Nie. A na Twitterze? Nie. Ale wysłałaś? No może. A ile? A może 14, może 18. To jest albo kompletne zgadywanie, albo ona wie, albo wymyśla, albo sprawdziła. Ale wiemy, że tych tweetów było dużo więcej, bo były one po prostu publiczne.
But we were all friends. You know, it was banter.
Right, but it establishes you were contacted. That's in public.
Yes, I mean, this
Did you write him letters?
Public, no. I think when I saw the rape interview, that's actually incorrect. What I said there, when I saw that in the Guardian, I said, "What a shame! It's not your fault." Something
you
like
did
that.
write to him.
One later.
So,
ale dlaczego ktokolwiek, kto widuje kogoś w pubie, wysyła e-maile, czyli ma e-maila do kontaktu, wysyła też, pisze posty na Twitterze, dlaczego wysyła też list? Kto w ogóle wysyła teraz listy? I ja wiem, że możecie mi tutaj pisać, że ale ludzie wysyłają. Nie, ludzie przeważnie nie wysyłają listów. No, zamiast wysłać mu maila mówiąc... wspierać go jakoś przez maila, to ona mu wysłała list. Co oznacza, że musiała wiedzieć, gdzie on mieszka. Chyba że list był wysłany do pubu, do którego i tak przychodziła.
You would say you only sent him a handful of emails. You never texted him.
No.
You tweeted him 18 times, you think. You never sent a Facebook message.
That's
and
right.
you wrote him one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has sent all these things?
Correct. So I'm sorry?
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
I mean, you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you have? What technology do you use?
Ona wygląda jakby już się znaczy ona od początku się denerwuje, ale teraz widać jakby miała takie jakby myślała, że wystarczy wykasować coś z komputera i tego już nikt nigdy nie znajdzie, nie?
What technology do I use? A very, very old smartphone just now because the other one packed up a week before moving. That's it.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes, so...
But they believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
Meaning what
Meaning
kind
that
of
someone
phone?
was hiding the fact that they were actually not using it. They were pretending it was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand that.
Well, people can mask where they're sending stuff from.
Okay, right. I'm not Technology Whiz Kid of the Year. I wasn't doing that either.
I mean, obviously, when you make such an emphatic denial of the central point of the story, you're basically accusing both him but also Netflix of lying about it.
I am.
And that's pretty defamatory.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
No, it's defamatory that they've been to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I misunderstood there. Yes, exactly. I don't see how anyone could do 41,000 emails and all this kind of stuff, you know.
I don't know how much you know about technology, but are you aware that if it was you sending those emails, it would be very easy for the police, for example, to work out exactly where they come from? That the IP address would reveal that?
Yes, I understand that, and it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all...
To, że ona odpowiada, że tak, ale to było tak dawno temu, to jest tak jakby ona przyznawała rację, że ona to wszystko pisała, ale to nie ma znaczenia, bo to było dawno temu. Co z tego, że go prześladowałam? To było dawno temu. Co z tego, że kogoś zabiłam? To było dawno temu. Wiecie, no, dziwny dobór słów. naprawdę nie mogę się doczekać obejrzenia jakiegoś tutaj właśnie, jakiejś oceny tutaj tego, co ona mówi, w jaki sposób dobiera słowa. I ja wiem, że to może być jej pierwszy raz w tego typu programie, przy kamerach i tak dalej, ale z drugiej strony jest ona podobno prawnikiem. Sama mówi, że jest pracującym prawnikiem, który powinien, no mi się wydaje przynajmniej, że prawnik powinien być przyzwyczajony do tego, że musi przekonać ludzi, mieć dobre argumenty, potrafić to wszystko przekazać w sposób przekonujący. A póki co, no to mnie ona nie przekonuje.
Still be there.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails,
this is just a lot of rubbish. Yeah, so that should be stored there.
Well, they'd all be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
He's not got 41,000 emails. That's over a year.
Well, according to you, there's only a handful.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
Like
that.
What does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
10 emails.
Not 41,000.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if it's not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Ale tu też przecież te e-maile to nie były jakieś ogromne rozpiski, tylko bardzo krótkie. Te e-maile przychodziły z takimi wiadomościami jak wiadomości SMS. Ja na przykład strasznie nie lubię, jak ktoś na Facebooku czy WhatsAppie zamiast napisać jedną wiadomość wysyła tak: hej, wyślij, co tam u ciebie? Wyślij. Ja dzisiaj właśnie kupiłam to. Wyślij. Spójrz na te zdjęcia. Wyślij. Wiecie. I tak ping, 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 ping. Więc ona mogła też w ten sposób używać maila, tak jakby po prostu była na czacie z nim, tak?
Yes, Martha cannot be me because there are a number of allegations that have been put to me by journalists.
Aha, czyli Marta to nie ona, ale na samym początku powiedziała, tak, to jestem ja.
That are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's...
But if the police looked at this and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law, and then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages, and so on. So all of this would come out in a court case.
In disclosure, yes.
And you're prepared to do that?
Yes. Because I didn't write him the emails.
Who do you think did?
I have no idea. I think he probably made them up himself. I've no idea. 41,000 emails.
Yeah. I mean, would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about someone?
Yes. I mean, that's a lot of emails. And why now? Why didn't he go to the police at the time? Or this sort of doesn't make sense.
No, on powiedział, dlaczego nie był wcześniej na policji, tak? Zresztą sam w tym serialu, przez ten serial mówi nam, że to była trudna decyzja i że on jakby nie chciał i on sam się przyznaje do tego, że sam to ciągnął, że mógł to ukończyć w każdym momencie. Czytałam dużo z waszych komentarzy też właśnie na temat tego, że on to wykorzystuje, że to jest tylko dla kasy, że faktycznie mógł to ukończyć. Tak, to jest prawda i faktycznie dużo osób się zbulwersowało, że to jest skok na kasę, przeżywanie traum, które miały prawdopodobnie miejsce, tylko właśnie po to, żeby się na tym gdzieś wzbogacić. Ale to też, wiecie, ja nigdy nie byłam w żadnej toksycznej relacji, ale z tego, co słyszałam od innych osób, czy czytałam, to nie jest tak łatwo po prostu odejść. I to nie musi być związek, to może być taka relacja, gdzie tak jak on powiedział, ona widziała go takiego, jakim on chciał, żeby ludzie go widzieli i on nie potrafił tego po prostu zakończyć, prawda? Więc no dużo tu jest, kurczę, stron, nie? Ja naprawdę jestem ciekawa, czy ona go pozwie i czy to faktycznie będzie jakieś taka publiczna walka, znaczy no w sądzie.
I mean, the fact that Netflix have said this is based on reality, this is a true story, that Martha did, the real life Martha, the person they based this on, who Richard Gadd has written about, is the person that sent these, and he has the evidence to prove it. What you're saying is that proves you cannot be Martha.
Yes, and I would like to see Netflix's evidence for that, which would come out in disclosure as well.
And you're 100% sure it's not you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ale na samym początku powiedziała, że to ona i że wiedziała od początku, że to ona. A teraz zmieniła zdanie.
It goes on to say that you heckle Richard Gadd when he was appearing in his stand-up shows. Did you ever do that?
No.
Never?
No, it's not.
Did you ever attend his stand-up?
I think I went to one. It was a long, long time ago.
And you never shouted out or anything?
Why would I do that? No.
I don't know.
No, I mean...
Do you ever shout out at comedy shows? I don't know. People do.
No, I don't generally go to comedy shows.
So you've never heckled him?
No.
Did you ever attack Richard Gadd's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. But no, I have never been to his house or attacked any girlfriend or anything like that.
There are lots of scenes where Martha is sitting outside his house all day for many days, sitting in a bus stop, sitting out there, walking around, and would occasionally shout at him. Did you ever do that?
No, I haven't seen the show, but I'm getting.
I have. So I'm telling you.
Yes, I got all the court allegations, the trial allegations.
I'm going to come to that, but on that point, did you ever turn up at his house?
No, I don't know. I don't know where he lived. No.
Ale wysłała mu list.
So whoever's doing all this is somebody completely different.
This is a fictional character, hyperbole, exaggeration. This is a fiction.
Well, it's based on
of his imagination.
They say it's based on a real person.
Who's they? Netflix.
Well, Netflix and Richard Gadd.
Netflix are about as mad as Richard Gadd. If they're saying that, it's absolutely not correct.
Did you ever contact Richard Gadd's parents and threaten them?
No, that allegation was put to me by journalists. No.
Never.
Ona mówi, że nie oglądała tego serialu, ale że wszyscy jej po prostu dali znać o każdej scenie. Tak to słyszałam od dziennikarza, tak to słyszałam od znajomych, tak to słyszałam tu. I ja mam wrażenie, że ona oglądała i to parę razy. Bo powiem wam, że gdybym to była ja, chociaż no nie wiadomo, czy to jest osoba chora, czy nie, tak? Ale nie wiem, wydaje mi się, że ludzka ciekawość by się obejrzało. Tym bardziej, że ona mówi to, co się dzieje z jej życiem, no sprawiło, że musiała się przeprowadzić i tak dalej. No to jakby chyba chciałaby wiedzieć. Ja wiem, że to jest w pewien sposób wspieranie Netflixa i Richarda, ale chyba chciałaby wiedzieć, co tam jest dokładnie pokazane, żeby może też się móc wybronić, prawda? No nie wiem, to też mogą być, każdy może mieć inne zdanie, prawda?
There's one key point in the drama that has Martha's character pleading guilty to intimidating Richard Gadd in court and sentenced to 9 months prison time. Let's watch.
You're charged with the stalking of Mr. Donald Dunn between the dates of the 14th of August 2015 and the 22nd of March 2017. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You were charged with the harassment of Gerald Dunn and Eleanor Dunn between the dates of the 6th of June 2016 and the 22nd of March 2017.
Widzieliście to? Pierwsza data była podana, ona zrobiła tak. I ja wiem, że to może być jakiś tik nerwowy, ale za drugim razem spojrzała na zegarek, podniosła palec, jakby chciała coś powiedzieć. Jakby chciała powiedzieć, że może daty były inne.
Are you guilty or not guilty?
W ogóle spójrz na jej minę, taką... Mi się wydaje, że ona widziała ten program.
Now, again, there is obviously a resemblance between...
Do you think so?
Well, a bit, but
That's hardly flattering.
Well, I don't mean to flatter you or not flatter you. I just think there is a resemblance, you know, having met you, and you both speak Scottish people. Yeah. But the fundamental point of this is, did you take part in that? So did you go to jail? Did you have a trial?
Of course not. Of course not.
Have you ever been to prison?
No.
Have you ever been charged with a criminal offence?
No.
Never?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
So that scene is completely invented.
That's completely false, and I don't think the actress sounds like me. I mean, people compare me to Lorraine Kelly, but I look nothing like Lorraine Kelly. We all happen to have dark hair, and we're Scottish. You know, I think the actress is from Glasgow, I think, but I'm not sure.
But and which part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from the Central Belt.
So a slightly different accent?
It's slightly different.
A Scot would know the difference.
A Scot would know the difference. A Glasgow accent's very different.
But that's a fundamental point here, because if...
Mam wrażenie, że jak coś jest prawdą, to ona się bardziej uśmiecha. Bo jak mówi o sobie, skąd pochodzi, o akcencie, wydaje się to być troszkę bardziej naturalne, niż wszystko inne jest takie bardzo poważne i... no nie...
They basically have a key point in their drama, which they say is a true story, which involves you admitting to intimidating Richard Gadd and getting a 9-month prison sentence.
Znowu patrzy na zegarek.
And that is completely untrue.
That's completely untrue. Very, very defamatory to me. Very career damaging. And I wanted to rebut that completely on this show. I'm not a stalker. I've not been to jail. I've not got injunctions, interdicts. This is just complete nonsense. But it's, I mean, you'll know yourself, if you're charged with a criminal offence, it will go fine. Bigger fine, whatever. Very few people go to jail.
Well, you'd have a police record
nowadays.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your name?
My surname was double-barreled.
What was it?
Muir Harvey. So Muir Harvey.
Spójrzcie, w sposób, w jaki Pierce prowadzi ten wywiad. Trzyma sobie ten długopis, tak przewraca nim. Ja mam wrażenie, że on już wszystko sprawdził. Nazwisko, akta policyjne, że już to wszystko jest sprawdzone i on dobrze wie, jaka jest prawda i tylko daje jej platformę, żeby się przyznać lub nie. I powiem wam, że póki co on naprawdę łagodnie podchodzi do tego wszystkiego. Bo widziałam wywiady, w których on naprawdę dosłownie niszczy inne osoby. A tutaj, wiecie, może będzie drugi wywiad, może będzie coś jeszcze, ale tutaj on faktycznie zadaje pytania i daje jej po prostu mówić. Nie przerywa jej, tylko prosi o odpowiedź na dane pytanie, zanim przejdą dalej.
M-U-I-R, Harvey.
When the parents got divorced, I changed it to Harvey. I just dropped
So your maiden name when you were born was...
Yeah, that's right.
Was
Muir, yes.
Muir Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's quite an unusual name.
Yeah.
So if you'd ever received a criminal conviction for anything, it would be on police files.
Yes.
And what you're saying is you've never been even charged with an offence.
No.
Let alone the one that they...
Yes, I mean, this is 9.5 months in jail is pretty serious.
Did Netflix ever contact you?
No, no one's contacted me.
Never?
Never.
Did Richard Gadd tell you what he was doing?
No, I had worked it out when I saw the festival Baby Reindeer advert on BBC.
The Edinburgh Festival,
News,
which is the show you did.
I just happened to see that. I was looking up the news for something else.
Ale ona nie mogła wiedzieć o Netflixie wtedy, jak to było na festiwalu, bo wtedy oni jeszcze tego nie robili. Jakby...
That's where he
I just happened to see that.
Well, that's where he started telling the story, and that got picked up.
I was shocked. And I think Martha then was a bar stool. I seem to recall reading that. It wasn't an actress or a person, it was a bar stool.
Let me just show a little clip. This is from Lorraine, actually, who you just compared yourself to. But let's take a look at this.
What other people do.
This is Richard Gadd on Lorraine.
I just thought it was the right time to sort of try and bring a nuanced conversation to something. I think the human condition is extremely complicated, and I felt like a lot of art and TV in this day and age had maybe simplified it too much.
It's not a villain and victim storyline. I think you're left with a lot more than that. It's kind of two lost people.
What's your response to that?
I think they're milking it for all it's worth for the money. She doesn't even sound Scottish in that interview. Her accent seems to be varying.
Well, she's not. She's English. She's an actress.
I was going to say, it sounds more Lancashire to me, yes.
No, she's English.
Ale to w ogóle nie ma znaczenia, czy ta kobieta, czy to jest aktorka. To w ogóle nie ma znaczenia, jaki ona ma akcent, skąd ona pochodzi. On tutaj się pyta, co myślisz na temat tego, że właśnie w tej historii nie ma jednej ofiary. No, aktorka to w ogóle nie brzmi, jakby była Szkotką.
She's an actress. She's putting on the voice for you.
They're milking it for all they're worth. It was the right time to abuse someone all over social media and all over...
Obrażać kogoś. Jak kiedykolwiek widzieliście jej Facebooka, ona tam obraża niesamowitą ilość ludzi. Non-stop. Non-stop.
Basically somebody who's not from Loveyland, not from Theatreland, just abused me all over the newspapers. They're happy with themselves.
What do you feel about Richard Gadd?
I think he's psychotic, and I think that anyone going along, being in that play, and doing this to somebody, I find the behaviour outrageous.
He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you, and that's why he befriended you.
Your staff said that to me in the waiting room. This is a lot of nonsense. I've got lots of friends.
What did you talk to him about?
It was just a Holly Arms banter. It was...
like what? What kind of thing?
What you're going to do with your life, or, career stuff, sort of... And I thought he was a stand-up show.
But is it possible he was under the impression that he felt sorry for you?
No, I never got that impression at all.
Ale to nie ona miała odnieść takie wrażenie, tylko on. I zauważcie, że jeżeli to by było wszystko, powiedzmy, nie wiem, gdzieś tam zmyślone z jego strony, ona mówi, że w sumie go nie znała, ale wysyłała mu e-maile, wysyłała jakieś tam tweety, była może na jednym stand-upie, ale mówi też o typowym przekomarzaniu się w Holy Arms. Tu widzę, że chyba w napisach jest inna nazwa, ale jakby jeżeli jest jakieś typowe, często spotykane przekomarzanie się w danym miejscu, no to znaczy, że chodzicie tam wystarczająco regularnie, żeby odnieść wrażenie, że aha, to jest po prostu takie przekomarzanie się, tak tutaj się robi, więc jakby to już samo, ona nam sama mówi, że była tam osobą przychodzącą regularnie.
I got the impression that he was all out for himself, wanted to sort of control that bar, very, very inarticulate, very full of himself.
No w serialu to on pokazuje, mówi, że miał beznadziejną robotę, że rozstał się z dziewczyną, że mieszkał na zadupiu u mamy byłej dziewczyny i zdawał sobie sprawę z tego, jak bardzo jest niezadowolony z miejsca, w jakim jest w życiu. Ona z kolei mówi, że był zapatrzony w siebie. Nie wiem, czy te dwie rzeczy się łączą, bo ktoś, kto tak bardzo nie lubi swojego życia, raczej nie byłby tak zapatrzony w siebie.
I never have gone in that bar.
Do you wish you never had?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did you know him for, Richard Gere?
2-3 months. 2-3 months at maximum. He only worked there on certain days.
And did you always go on?
Ona go prawie nie znała. To były tylko 2 i 3 miesiące i bierze szklankę wody, tak jakby byłaby już zdenerwowana i kłamała. No, powiedzcie mi, że to jest inaczej. To są tylko moje przypuszczenia. Jeszcze raz powtarzam, to tylko moje. Ale no nie uważam, że ona zasługuje na groźby. Jak powiedziałam wcześniej, nikt nie zasługuje, nikomuś nie powinno grozić. Ona pogarsza sytuację, wydaje mi się. Pogarsza, bo te osoby, co jej groziły, jeszcze bardziej się na nią rzucą.
What days you work there?
No, I've been in there on different days having food.
Have other people from the pub contacted you?
Nobody's contacted me.
No one at all?
About this at all, apart from the media. The mainstream media and stalkers on social media.
He says, Richard Gere, he didn't see you as a villain, but as somebody who is unwell and needs help.
Yeah, well, he maybe should look a bit closer to home, to himself, as someone who needs help.
Ale on wie sam dobrze, że potrzebuje pomocy, tak? Jakby był z tym bardzo, bardzo otwarty. I ja tu jeszcze poruszę, bo dostałam jeden komentarz na temat właśnie tego, że ona wiedziała, że on pracuje tam, że po tym wszystkim pracował tylko parę dni w tym pubie i że pozostał w tym pubie. I osoba, która napisała mi komentarz, powiedziała, że to jest jakby normalne, że czy ja nie utrzymuję kontaktu z ludźmi ze szkoły. Po pierwsze, nie. Wydaje mi się, że nie chcę mówić za wszystkich, ale czy jeżeli wy znacie kogoś tak sobie, czy wiecie, w jakie dni pracuje? Bo ja nawet nie wiem z jakąś dobrą koleżanką, kiedy pracuje, dopóki na przykład nie chcemy się zgadać, żeby się spotkać, tak? I jeżeli ona była oskarżona o prześladowanie i może wiedziała, że on ma tego dość i on zgłosił ją na policję, a ona dalej chodziła do pubu i wiedziała, kiedy on pracuje. No nie klei się, to nie klei. Ale dobra, kolejne pytanie. Czy myślisz, że jest chory psychicznie?
What, you think mentally unwell?
Yes, I think he always was. Whether there was an alleged rape or whether that rape was real or conceived in his mind, I think that would make him more
I mean, that's a rape that
unwell.
he says happened. It was a television person. We don't know who it was. Somebody was falsely linked with it, who turns out to have nothing to do with it. But it's a very graphic scene in the drama where he is brutally raped after a lot of drugs are taken. And he's kind of he appears to be in the drama very self-reflective about himself. That he's no angel, he's not perfect, he's made lots of mistakes, and he didn't treat you in his eyes as a villain, like he says, as somebody he felt that you were both slightly lost souls.
I didn't know the rape scene was in the play until this morning. Somebody's daughter had watched it and told me about it. So I was surprised once again. Well, not surprised, actually. I'm rarely surprised by anything he does nowadays. He seems to have written a couple of other shows about this alleged rape, then this one. And
jakie inne?
We've had no apologies from Netflix or him or nothing. I mean, for someone who says he feels sorry for me, I've had no apology, and I have this Martha character seems to have smashed up a bar, sexually assaulted him in a canal, been to prison. There are a number of other allegations.
And none of that is true.
That's not true.
He says that.
Ale słuchajcie, z drugiej strony, znowu otwieram drzwi do kolejnej dyskusji w komentarzach. Jeżeli on by to wszystko zmyślił, to po cholerę w ogóle kogoś w to mieszać, nie? Po cholerę ona idzie i mówi, tak, to jestem ja. To musiałoby być wszystko bardzo dobrze zmyślone, tak, że on podszywając się pod nią, czy zatrudniając ją wstawia te wszystkie tweety, wiecie, no bo w internecie też nic nie ukryjecie. Strony, które już nie działają, można nadal je odzyskać i znaleźć posty od danej daty i tak dalej, więc tutaj naprawdę musiałoby tutaj dojść do bardzo wielkiego planu wieloletniego, żeby to wszystko było nieprawdą, no. Już inna kwestia, czy on to wykorzystuje dla kasy, tak? Tu chodzi tylko o to, czy ona jest osobą, która może być niebezpieczna, czy nie.
people shouldn't try to find out the identity of the real people in the drama. Do you give him credit for that?
No.
Właśnie, to jest ten post, ja o nim mówiłam, że Richard mówi, że Sean Foley nie jest mężczyzną tym serialowym Darienem, który go wykorzystał na tle seksualnym. To nie jest on, moi drodzy, to nie jest ten Sean Foley. Jest kolejna osoba, którą ludzie podejrzewają i to jest właśnie ona. Jest to osoba bardzo, bardzo, bardzo bogata, która po prostu wszystkim grozi, jeżeli taka informacja wyjdzie, ale ona wyjdzie. Ona wyjdzie, o tym też porozmawiamy.
She tweeted this. People I love have worked with and admire, including Sean Foley, who was the man wrongly accused of being the rapist, are unfairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate on who any of the real life people could be. That's not the point of our show. Lots of love, Richard.
Pierce, I'm sorry, I can't see the date of that tweet. I can't actually see any of it.
That was literally like a few days after it was released.
Ale to nie ma znaczenia. Jakby... Dlaczego ona mówi, że nie widzi daty? Ona bardzo skupia się na datach. Bardzo. Bo jak mówiła o przeprowadzce, tak to było 2 tygodnie temu, w sensie w sobotę będą 2 tygodnie. Jak był ten klip z Netflixa i były podane daty, to ona tak bardzo skupia się na datach. Cokolwiek to znaczy.
Right, I saw the headline. It was all over BBC Breaking News 2 weekends ago for 4 days. With Martha promoting herself, the character Martha, Jessica, promoting herself, and him saying, don't speculate. Wow, that's a bit rich now, isn't it? The fans do speculate.
Well, it was almost instantaneous. You were tracked down incredibly quickly.
The Wednesday, the Daily Mail got in touch with me, so that was all over BBC Breaking News Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
I mean, the reason that internet sleuths were able to find out it was you was they found the tweets that you sent him throughout 2014. 10th of May, for example, 2014.
Yeah.
Richard Gadd, did you get my recorded delivery letter sent to the theatre, sent to arrive bank holiday Monday? So you sent him a letter then?
That was that. Sorry, you were raped, something like that.
12th of June, same year, your tweets cheer me up, your timeline is good. 23rd of September, my curtains need hung badly.
We were trying to encourage him because with this first show or something like that. A long time ago.
You said on the 18th of December, please.
To nie ma znaczenia, kiedy to było. Ona cały czas podkreśla, że to było dawno.
Go and see Richard Gadd's show. It's well written and neurotic.
Yeah.
The filmed bum shots are the best. Fantastic ass.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
We
were trying to encourage him.
Nothing negative though about it.
Pierce mówi oni, to ona mówi kto Netflix, a ona mówi cały czas my. Pierce powinien się zapytać, o co chodzi z tym my, kim są my, bo to ona wysłała tweeta o tych, tak, o tym tyłku, o show, o zasłonach. Kim jesteśmy my?
No, because I didn't think he was a complete psychopath who was going to attack me in this way.
But the show did involve you.
This show here, not that show there.
That made no reference
to... This was a previous show.
It made no reference to you, that show.
Which show?
The one you're talking about.
Yes. So, you know, it's funny this is coming up now. My view is it's all about the money. The Martha Barstow Edinburgh Festival thing wasn't making any money. He'd failed as a comedian, he'd failed as an actor, and therefore, let's make some money, sell this to Netflix. I think anyone in their right mind, you had a group of guys on there in their 20s, they don't believe it.
Can I ask you, what was your upbringing like?
I was going to say standard Scottish, singing standard Scottish countryside.
Happy? I mean, happy upbringing?
Yeah. Impoverished, but middle class upbringing, if you like.
Any siblings?
I have a sister. My mother worked incredibly hard. My parents got divorced when I was 9, but she worked like a Trojan.
Are either parents still alive?
Ona właśnie powiedziała, że jej rodzice wzięli rozwód, kiedy miała 9 lat. Jednak na uniwersytecie w Aberdeen była już znana jako Fiona Moyer, teraz jest Fioną Harvey. I powiedziała, że wcześniej miała 2-członowe nazwisko, które jedno nazwisko porzuciła po rozwodzie, czyli kiedy miała 9 lat, ale to nie mogło mieć miejsca podczas bycia na uniwersytecie, chyba że była już na studiach prawniczych w wieku 9 lat. Albo czegoś nie zrozumiałam, albo coś tu się nie klei.
My mother is, yeah.
And how does she feel about this?
I've not talked to her about it. I'm hoping she'll have just seen the Scottish headlines and that's it. She's not an internet freak. or anything like
Szkockie nagłówki są lepsze, tak? Stoją po jej stronie.
She has no idea what's happened to you then.
She will know bits, and she was very, very angry with Laura Walker for doing the original article when I went for parliamentary
You haven't talked to your mother about this?
No, and that may seem strange, but I don't want to worry her. I'll tell her I've been on this show when it airs. I don't want to worry her.
Let me ask you, The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray, who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you worked with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, when she was a former Labour Party member. Mrs Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did graduate from Aberdeen?
Yes.
With a law degree. A trainee role at the legal firm McPhail Lawrence Partnership in 1997. Is that true?
It was called L&L Lawrence. I think she forgets the name of her own firm. It was called L&L Lawrence.
But that's all true. She gave you a trainee job.
She lured me away from another firm. She headhunted me from another firm because she needed someone to do employment law. And I'm pretty good at employment law, so... She
said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me. Most people, half the Labour Party, had been up there at one point or another and walked.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her. You were then known as Fioną obviously, as you said, Harvey. Mrs Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband.
Ale ona też tak, to jakby to było prawdą, nie? On mówi, że było to, ona,
Daily Record
she
reported that.
messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She didn't. She messed up because I went into the Court of Session, the High Court in Edinburgh, to get countrywide interdicts, an interdict and an injunction in Scotland and England because I was going to move to London anyway. She mucked up.
Sorry, you went into court to get them yourself?
Yes, but there was
who?
no need against Laura Walker and Jimmy Ray.
But she said one was served on you.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
An interim
we have checked this out.
Well, again, there would be a public record of
yeah,
that.
Absolutely. And
you're saying that it was never served?
What we think, she served the initial documents, and then
she did?
No. She served the initial documents and then there was no hearing. It wasn't minuted for a hearing. I said I would defend, but she mucked that up too. She didn't fill up a second initial document. She then didn't minute for decree in absence. So there is no interim interdict in Scotland.
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant harasser?
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well, that's in the drama.
Show.
Is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family. I didn't harass that family. And also I worked for it in 1987, 88. The parliamentary selection wasn't until 2000. He Googled up the article because I knew he'd done that. I never went back to the Holy Arms. He was spreading it around Camden.
Ona powiedziała, że nigdy nie wróciła do tego pubu, ale wróciła.
That I was a stalker.
You've never married?
No.
Have you had relationships with men?
Oh.
I mean, if you don't mind me being pure about
I'm heterosexual.
Yeah, I mean, how many relationships have you had?
Ona bardzo podkreśla to, że jest Szkotką, bardzo podkreśla to, że Richard jest homoseksualistą, którym chyba nie jest. On nigdy nie powiedział czegoś takiego, tak? Zresztą to w ogóle nie ma znaczenia. I dlaczego ona mówi tutaj, że jest heteroseksualna, to też jest...
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds a lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
I mean, he had a lot.
Quite a few.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he had a lot. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how...
And obviously now you're going... Here's my point. Now you're going public. Then the men that you've dated over the years will see this
Yeah.
They'll be aware of it. They'll hear you.
I don't think if your next question is going to be, am I stalking them? I think the answer's going to be no.
Well, no, I just wonder how do you think they would view you?
Nie, to raczej... On tutaj nie chciałby się raczej zapytać, bo on się nie pyta wprost. Znaczy, pyta się wprost, ale ewidentnie chodzi tutaj o to, że po prostu ci ludzie mogą teraz też pójść do telewizji, do magazynów i powiedzieć, ona jest taka. Ona otworzyła drzwi osobom, które ją znają. Mówi, że ma dużo znajomych. Dobrze wiemy, że nieważne, kim się jest, czy jest się celebrytą, czy nie. Ludzie będą mówić i najlepszy przyjaciel może pójść do gazety i po prostu powiedzieć co i jak, więc no, ona nie bardzo rozumie te pytania, albo je tak specjalnie omija.
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gere, that he's completely off his head. And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he...
So you currently have a boyfriend?
Me, yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah.
In London?
Doesn't matter where he is.
I'd rather... No, I understand, but how long have you been... 5 years. You've been in a 5-year relationship?
Yeah, so I don't...
So what does he think
I don't want to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do, all of my professional friends do, other people do, people are being really sympathetic. People I don't know are saying things like, are you getting hounded in the street? You know, people are being really, really nice.
I mean...
Ona mówi, że tyle osób ją wspiera, ale też z drugiej strony ją nękają i ja wam mówiłam w jednym z odcinków, że tam, gdzie ona mieszka, znaczy mieszkała chyba, bo się przeprowadziła, że sprawa nie wygląda kolorowo. Tam, gdzie ona normalnie chodziła, nawet lokalny jakiś sklepik, więc ona mówi tutaj o ogromnym wsparciu, ale ona może go wcale nie mieć.
Anyone who does know about this.
You know, here's the thing. I don't know the truth. You do. And you've been emphatic in the number of denials you're making here.
That's right.
But many of those things that I've put to you can be proven.
You're talking about emails and an email trail thing.
All that.
You know, all of that. You're obsessed with... sorry, I don't mean to be horrible.
I'm not obsessed with anything.
You've gone on at length for a good 10 minutes about the emails.
Well, only because the emails...
Because it's a vast number.
Well, there's a huge number. And voice messages.
Ona mówi Pierce'owi, że on ma obsesję. Czy ona nie wie, że przyszła na wywiad o tym, żeby obronić się, że to nie ona ma obsesję i że ona nikogo nie nękała? No to oczywiste, że będą zadane pytania na pewien temat, tym bardziej, że ona je omija. A mi się wydaje, że Pierce naprawdę bardzo dobrze prowadzi ten wywiad i tak naprawdę daje jej szansę na odpowiedzenie i wcale nie manipuluje, jakby wiecie, bo są dziennikarze, którzy i policja też tak często niestety robi, którzy potrafią tak zmanipulować, że powiecie to, co oni chcą, a mi się wydaje, że on tego właśnie nie robi.
The voice messages he's kept apparently, and there
he
is
was maybe taping me in the holy arms. I don't know if he's got any voicemail.
But if he has 350 voice messages and it's you,
it doesn't mean the drama is true.
But is it possible he's got 350 voice messages?
I doubt that very much. I just don't think so.
You doubt?
Jeżeli ona wątpi, no właśnie, on się pyta, wątpisz. Jak ona wątpi, to tak jakby mówiła, że one są, tylko ona wątpi, że on je nadal ma, prawda? Tak mi się wydaje.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, unless he's taping me.
I mean, if you've never really contacted him, if he's got
could have been taping me in the holy arms, though.
But if he's got 350
I've not contacted
but if these
him.
are on his phone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're on a phone, tablet, whatever they're on. I've not contacted
But I'm curious,
him.
why would there even be a possibility of him having that number of voice messages from you?
Because he's crazy, he wants to make this up. I mean, I've not phoned the guy. I don't have his number.
Yeah, but you're not sure that he hasn't got those?
I think the only explanation for having a voicemail from me would be taping me in the holy arms. That's the only place we've
Or
ever
that you've
met.
left messages on his phone?
That's the other explanation, which just didn't happen.
You can't be sure?
I can't be sure because I didn't have his number.
Right, but you just said you weren't sure if these were your voice messages.
Yeah, what I mean is somebody could be taping me. You know, somebody could have taped me in the holy arms.
Right,
on a dictaphone or something like that.
Here's my point to
na pewno on nagrał ją dyktafonem. Okej, czyli ona mówi, że po prostu ktoś nagrywał ją tak, aby później, nie wiem, zadzwonić, odtworzyć, żeby to wyglądało jak wow, naprawdę, jakby jej scenariusz faktycznie okazał się prawdą, że on przez tyle lat pracował tak grubo nad czymś takim, no to...
These are easily provable things.
Yeah.
He's either got them or he hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll be asking for disclosure of that. But,
and the emails, obviously, there'll be an IP address, and that if that leads to you...
Yeah. I mean, my point is, though, even if that were true... I didn't lunge at him across the bar. I didn't sexually assault him in a canal. I didn't go to jail.
I understand.
So,
but here's my point to you.
Yeah.
Here's my point to you, Fiona. And I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm genuinely fascinated by this story. I watched the drama. I saw them declare it at the start as a true story. And I've seen the interviews since with all various people. And it's clearly a very complex situation, this. But unless I'm mishearing you, I think what you're saying is there is a possibility that you send a lot of emails.
No,
and there's a lot of voice messages,
I didn't say
but that it doesn't mean that you did the more serious things.
Yeah, I am not saying at all that I sent loads of emails. You maybe misheard, play back the interview. What I'm saying is a handful at most. If I did, congratulations about the show.
Ale w ogóle samo to, że ona mówi, może wysłałam garstkę, jeżeli w ogóle wysłałam, to ona nie wie, czy wysłała, czy nie wysłała.
He does have 350 voice messages.
I know that he doesn't.
And it's your voice.
He doesn't.
And everyone can now hear your voice.
Unless he was taping me in the holy arms.
Or he just kept them on his phone.
I didn't phone him. You sound unconvinced, but
I'm not. Honestly,
I mean, what?
No. So it's your point that are you challenging him to reveal this evidence?
No, I would challenge him to leave me alone.
Because you're calling him a liar and you're calling Netflix accomplice.
I didn't use those words. I said the story, the play, the Netflix show is not true.
No, but if they say that you sent 41,000 emails,
well, they are completely
messages,
wrong.
All 744
They're
tweets.
completely wrong.
So they are lying.
They are lying. Yes, okay, yeah. In effect, he is lying and they are lying. And in order for a dramatisation to be true, it's got to be, the only defences are veritas, I'm telling the truth, or the whole drama needs to be true. They have billed it as a true story, so has he, and it's not. It's blatantly not. Even if the email thing was true, the rest is not. So
why would you
No to widzicie samo to, że ona mówi, nawet jeżeli e-maile miały miejsce, to reszta nie miała. Ona coraz bardziej przyznaje się do tego. Jak to inaczej wytłumaczyć?
Qualify that, Fiona.
Sorry, why would I what?
Why would you suddenly qualify even if it's true about the emails?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right, but when you say even if the emails were true,
I didn't send him 41.
It doesn't mean the more serious stuff is.
Let me rephrase that.
That's really what you're saying, right? I mean, I don't want to force you into saying anything that's not actually true, but it seems to me that it may be possible that you have communicated all this stuff with him, but that doesn't mean you did the more serious thing.
That's true.
It doesn't mean you attacked his girlfriend. It doesn't mean you smashed up a bar. Yeah. It doesn't mean you did any of those things or threatened anybody. It just, yes, you had a relationship with this guy and you did contact him a lot.
I knew this guy. I didn't contact him a lot. I've never said that in this interview at all.
No. But interestingly, for me, as an interviewer, and I'm just trying to get to the truth. You understand that?
No. I
honestly not trying to
see that. It's your show.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to get to the truth.
I see that.
He has put his version out there, and the world has watched it.
Absolutely.
Millions and millions of people around the world have had Richard Gadd's version.
I know.
And I'm simply saying to you that you have a chance here, Fiona, I think, and take this any way you want, but you have a chance here to concede that some of these things might be possible, but that doesn't mean the more serious things happen.
I mean, what I'm saying is...
Because the more serious stuff we know is serious, right? If you were...
if you were in the jail or something...
If you were a violent stalker or if you'd had a previous situation where you got this interim internet, which we know was served on you...
No, it was not. Sorry to interrupt there. No, she has repeatedly maintained this over 25 years. I checked with the Sheriff Clerk. Another lawyer checked with the Sheriff Clerk. We think that the previous scenario happened. She does not have an interim internet. I think she's quite wrong.
Okay.
If the Sheriff Clerk can produce that and say she didn't muck up and minuted for decree, why was I not served an interim injunction?
If Richard Gadd is watching this, what's your message to him?
Leave me alone, please. Get a life, get a proper job. I am horrified at what you've done.
And you will categorically be taking legal action?
Absolutely, against both him and Netflix.
You said your boyfriend's a lawyer, so this can be done
He's not doing it, no. I'm not doing it. Somebody else is doing it.
Have you instructed lawyers?
We've instructed them in part, but we want to explore all the options out there. There are a number of people to sue.
O, będzie pozywać wiele osób. Wcześniej mówiła, że sama będzie siebie reprezentować. I znowu komentarz, że Richard znajdź sobie normalną pracę. Ona często mówi o tym, że on niby jest na zasiłkach. Bardzo, ona jest taką agresywną osobą, bardzo mi się wydaje.
We can't all be in 10 courts all at once. So,
who else are you planning to sue?
The Daily Mail. Anyone that's saying this is true and harassing me and that kind of thing.
O, ona ma zamiar pozwać każdego, kto myśli, że to jest prawda. To, co było w serialu. No to masz dużo ludzi. Dużo ludzi masz do pozywania, naprawdę. Całego YouTube'a chyba.
We have not had time to do everything.
Czy to tylko ja zauważyłam, czy ona cały czas albo spogląda na swój biust, albo na zegarek. Jej się dłuży ten czas. Ona chce stamtąd wyjść. No. A wydaje mi się, że jakby mówiła prawdę, to byłaby całkowicie spokojna. Chociaż mogłaby nie być spokojna, bo tak, wiem, mogłaby się stresować, że ludzie to odbiorą źle. Ja naprawdę staram się to widzieć z dwóch perspektyw, ale ten wywiad naprawdę nie wygląda dobrze dla niej.
If the investigation, if you sue and there's discovery, and it turns out that 41,000 emails did come from a device belonging to you, how would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be suing if I thought there were 41,000 emails out there.
We understand how easy it is to find them.
I understand completely.
And that if they did exist and you're categoric that they didn't, it would obviously
It wouldn't
impact
blow the
on
whole
you.
case. It wouldn't blow the case against Netflix and it wouldn't blow the case against him.
No, you
because
might
he's
well have
making out it's a true story.
No.
If you see what I mean, I'm back to my original position.
I understand, and I understand that it's obviously put your life into a very difficult position.
It's very
and their central claim that they made all this effort not to lead to you being identified, I don't think stands water.
I don't think it stands water.
To me, it's pretty. I could have listen. I've been a journalist 40 years. I could have discovered it was you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once I'd watched.
Yes, I agree. I discovered it was me when I saw the BBC breaking news baby reindeer show at the Edinburgh Festival when I was Googling up just the news that day or the weather or something, and this came up, and he was holding up a placard or a newspaper article, MP's wife stalker, all you need to do is Google that. Then I saw the name of the show and I thought, bloody hell, what's he up to? And I tried to get a friend to go see the show because she was based in Edinburgh, but she was on holiday. Nobody I know had seen that show either. So I was really shocked. I was very upset for 2-3 days, and then the general plan of action among my close friends was, look, just, let him get on with things. He's not going to be that damaging. You don't really know him. This will go away.
When did you last have any contact with him?
Famous last words. Years ago.
Do you remember when?
Years ago, no. I left the Holy Arms, didn't go back, and he was calling me a stalker and things. And there were various things happening in the Holy Arms. Other women were warning me about them and everything. Yeah.
Ona bardzo dużo mówi o tym pubie. Widziałam, że ludzie mówili, że ona pierwsza raz powiedziała, co to jest za pub, ale mi się wydaje, że wszyscy wiedzieliśmy od początku, co to jest za pub. Jestem ciekawa, czy osoby, które tam pracowały w tamtym czasie, czy zdecydują... Bo na pewno media będą próbowały znaleźć osoby, które tam pracowały. Nadal mogą tam pracować, żeby dowiedzieć się co i jak. Wiadomo, że nie wszyscy mogliby uwierzyć takim osobom, mogliby powiedzieć, Richard im zapłacił, a to tamto, prawda? Ale ona tutaj tym wywiadem jeszcze bardziej nasyciła całą sprawę i wydaje mi się, że teraz będzie bardzo dużo różnych opinii od osób, które znają i Richarda, i właśnie Fionę.
About him.
About him and others with bad conduct.
In relation to the 106 letters that he and Netflix say you sent, well, here's my point. You've admitted sending him one, and that presumably was a handwritten letter.
Could it be, are you thinking I was maybe mistaken, that I maybe did? And
No. I'm just saying, if we accept that the one that you admit to sending is in your own handwriting, he has another 105 letters in your handwriting.
Nonsense. It's nonsense.
Are you prepared for him to show that one?
He's maybe forged things. I mean, people forge a lot of things.
You
nowadays.
think he could successfully write 105 letters to himself?
Well, I certainly didn't.
No, but you admit to sending one. My point is, if it turns out the other 105 are exactly the same handwriting, wouldn't that point to maybe...
we would obviously bring in handwriting experts. I didn't do it.
You only sent one letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
What do you mean?
Do you send emails?
Yeah.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
Why?
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
It's different email accounts?
Maybe 4. I think it's 4 to 6, yeah. It's
four,
easier.
4 or
it's
6?
easier. So you have some for your utilities, some for close friends, whatever. Yeah.
The 6 is a lot.
Is it?
I don't know anybody with 6 email addresses.
You don't know many people then. I know people with 4 or 6.
Piers nie zna dużej ilości osób. Nie. Nie.
Address.
Or was it 4 or 6?
I can't remember. Probably 6.
How many do you use today?
I had 4 phones. I've got 1 today, but I only email select friends.
And you have 4 phones?
Yeah, 2 broke. They were very, very old. 1 was brand new and broke, and it's still to be returned to the shop. I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something, but if you've got somebody on about your electricity bill or somebody on about some work...
To też tak brzmi, że jeżeli ona miała parę telefonów, to jeden z nich mógł być tylko na komunikaty z Richardem i ona może myśleć, że Piersu jej mówi, to wszystko jest łatwe do udowodnienia. I mi się wydaje, że ona może myśleć, że na przykład, wiecie, jeżeli to był telefon, z którego ona się komunikowała, to wystarczy go wyrzucić i to jest koniec, nie? I na przykład przeprowadziła się, to myśli, ale mój adres IP się zmienił. Jakby wiecie, ona chyba sobie nie zdaje sprawy. Ona mówi, że zdaje, ale nie.
Or something. It's nice to keep it separate, you know. So I didn't do that in Scotland. You didn't have to, but the volume of calls
do you think,
here
Fiona, do you think if somebody did send someone 41,000 emails, 350
I think that's
voice messages,
excessive, obviously, yeah.
Would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it could be, it could be your wife. It could be, you're maybe sending emails every day about the kids or something like that. I don't know. 41,000 is a lot. That's how many a day? My maths isn't working this time of night.
No mówiłam, 30 parę, tak?
Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends. You know, they could have been friends for 50 years or something.
Was he ever your friend, Richard Gere?
No.
Ale wcześniej powiedziała, że zdecydowanie taka ilość e-maili jest prześladowaniem i uważałaby, że to jest po prostu przesada. A teraz pół godziny później mówi, że ale przecież jest taka sytuacja, że może to jest na przykład rodzic i drugiego rodzica informuje. Ja nie wiem, kto w ogóle używa maila do takiej komunikacji, jak zamiast SMS-ów.
Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
Yeah, but banter's one thing. Scottish banter down here is quite kind of welcome.
Szkockie.
You know, it's not really fun city, is it? It's not jokey city.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No.
It's not a question of... By his own admission, he has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend.
Widzicie, jaka zmiana jest w historii, bo ona na początku powiedziała o tych zasłonach, że to był taki żart w pubie i ja potem napisałam to na social mediach, żeby go tam wspierać podczas kolejnego stand-upu, bla, 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 bla. Nic nie wspomniała na temat tego, że to był żart, z którego ona się zaśmiała, a że on potem powiedział, ale to jest metafora, ja chcę iść z tobą do domu. Nie powiedziała tego wcześniej, powiedziała to dopiero teraz. Tak jakby dopiero teraz jej to przyszło na myśl, że można to powiedzieć. Sama mówi, że według niej, nie powiedziała, że według niej, ale my tego nie wiemy, że Richard jest homoseksualistą, a teraz mówi, że on na nią tak leciał. To jest homoseksualistą, czy nie jest? Czy podoba mu się ona? Ona się strasznie gubi, nie?
I gave him the brush off big time, I think. You know, it was subtly so, but the bottom line is, I think this is behind him. No, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy little boys without jobs. That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but,
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix series, and like me, they will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're...
Ciekawe, czy ona pracuje, nie? bo tak się skupia na tym, żeby wszystkich zjechać. Mówić, że Richard nie pracuje podczas kiedy spotkała go w jego pracy, a w tej chwili, zresztą on już wcześniej odnosił sukcesy. Słuchajcie, on pracował przy Mighty Bush, to jest naprawdę ogromny program, bardzo popularny i to od bardzo długiego czasu. Ona ma straszną obsesję, taką właśnie jakby, tak mi się wydaje, że jeżeli to wszystko jest prawdą, to ona jest po prostu wkurzona i ona teraz zrobi wszystko, żeby go z powrotem zaatakować. Tak mi się wydaje.
Innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed here. I think at the very least, the Netflix duty of care and Richard Gere's duty of care has been a spectacular failure.
I agree.
Right, regardless of anything else, regardless of your culpability of anything, the duty of care has failed because people identified you incredibly quickly. So they've made this what they say is a true story, and everyone's worked out it's you, and the picture they paint is of a completely crazed stalker ruining a man's life. Albeit he accepts that some of his behaviour may have led the person on.
Can I ask a question? Do you happen to know how much he's made out of this Netflix thing?
I would imagine several £1 million.
Yes, I would say 3 to 4 million. A lawyer I know well thought he was a wee nobody, and he suggested 750 to 100,000. I said, no, I think you're looking more about 3 or 4 million, and I think the more he publicised...
750 do 100? Ja dobrze zrozumiałam? 750 000 do 100 000? Ona w ogóle samo to jak opowiadanie, że ona jest prawnikiem i chłopak jest prawnikiem. Wszyscy znajomi są też w tej samej branży i kolejny znajomy tu prawnik. To jest to samo, dokładnie to samo, jak zachowywała się Marta w serialu. Mówiąc, że ma tyle znajomych, tyle ważnych znajomych, zna tyle ważnych osób i te wszystkie imprezy. Ona to robi to samo. Mówi, ile ma znajomych, jaka jest po prostu taki, jak to się mówi, social butterfly, tak? Taki motyl towarzyski. Nie wiem, czy tak można przetłumaczyć, ale wiecie, o co mi chodzi. Naprawdę. I to w ogóle nie ma znaczenia, ile on zarobił kasy na tym, bo tutaj nie o to chodzi. Tu nie o to chodzi w ogóle.
It goes up. You know, according to how much it's streamed. I don't know the contract they signed. I think he's done bloody well out of defaming
Do you resent that?
I don't resent any Scot getting on. This is not what this is about.
But he's effectively making money out of what he
he's
says.
He's making money out of
what
my
he says
misery,
is you stalking him.
Yeah, he's making money out of untrue facts. He's been the ultimate misogynist. The actress was also not appealing for calm. He was appealing for calm. I think he did that to sort of stir things up more. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. And I think your staff were talking about Martha, the sequel or something like this. It's just completely
That's what people are hinting at.
It's completely crazy. Well, your staff put that to me and put to me, should I write a book about this? Well, I've got other things to do, but it's a possibility.
You got a law degree.
Yeah.
Law degree, so you're obviously very bright.
Okej, czyli ona chce... Ona, widzicie, te rozmowy, nie tak. Ja nie napisałam tych wiadomości. Jeżeli napisałam, to może 2, ale nie jestem pewna. To nie jest prawdą, ale jakby było, to było dawno temu. Tak, jeżeli chodzi o to, słyszałam, że może być właśnie jakaś kolejna część serialu, tylko że o Marcie. Nawet twoi pracownicy powiedzieli, że napisała książkę, ale ja nie mam czasu. Ona bardzo szybko sobie zaprzecza. Tak jakby nawet te wyświetlenia, nie? No, na pewno zarobił dużo, było dużo wyświetleń, ale ja nie wiem jaki był kontrakt. Ona sobie cały czas ona się strasznie w tym gubi. Strasznie się w tym gubi.
How did you do at school?
I've got a photographic memory. I was top of the school, apart from the science.
Which school was that?
Balfour High. I went to the science. Person got the most marks because you can get 99%.
How many O and A levels did you end up with?
I got 6 hires, 2 SYSs, and they were all most were A band 1s, which was when the A band 1 was top of the thing.
And with your law degree, what grade did you get?
Not bad. I mean, all right.
What was it?
I just did an ordinary degree and then a diploma in legal practice.
Well, what grades did you get
degree. All right grades. But you know, I went out
what were they?
partying. I didn't do an honours degree, so you know, just bog standard grades.
What degree did you did a law degree? Or?
I did a law degree with 13 subjects. 13 law subjects, so it wasn't the CPE or anything, which I also have from down here, but it was 13 law subjects.
This is from Aberdeen University.
Yeah.
So what degree did you end up with?
A law degree, and then I did a politics degree after that.
And what grade did you get for
Women's studies. I did substantially better in that because I did more work. You know, I think in our day, when you went to university, you did.
There's a reason you say you got a photographic memory, but what grades did you get?
All right grades. I mean, not top of the year or anything.
No,
but all right grades.
When you do a degree, you get a...
Yeah, you're asking me what marks I got for 13 subjects. I can't remember.
Well, no, you end up with it. Did you get a first-class degree?
Oh, no. Well, I said I didn't do an honours degree. I wanted to go out and practice, so it was an ordinary degree I did.
Right, but you can't remember how you did.
I did all right. I didn't do top of the year.
Oh, Beatrice.
But the other graduates at the same time, they'd all remember you.
Some of them remember me. One of them did incredibly well. He's a High Court judge. Some people didn't do well. I think the general idea in the 80s was we didn't really do much work. That sounds absolutely awful. But, you know, that was kind of the 80s.
If it came to it, would you take a lie detector test?
Yeah. Yeah, possibly, yeah. I would need to consult other lawyers about that.
If we set one up, you would do it.
A lie detector test for what? You know,
the police, as you know, the police...
Ja odnoszę wrażenie, że to jest kobieta totalnie zamknięta we własnym świecie. Kobieta, która naprawdę jest bardzo samotna, zagubiona i ona tworzy taką swoją własną rzeczywistość po prostu.
They're just an indication.
They use them for mass murder and things like that.
Well, no, they use them in many cases just to determine whether they think someone's telling the truth.
They don't use them that much. I know you've done the programmes of women behind bars and things. I confess, I think I've just seen one, but it's not used that much.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you.
I have to have a think.
Since you've mentioned it, I've done a lot of crime interviews with people who've committed way worse offences than what you've been accused of.
Yeah, I haven't seen I know you have.
You know, way more mass murderers, serial killers, and so on. And they're all, I've got to say, almost all of them are very good liars. Could it be, people to be asking this, watching you thinking, either she's genuinely innocent here, or she's a terrible liar who is capable of all of these things.
I don't lie, and I tell white lies if I absolutely have to, like when my 94-year-old ex-neighbour was dying. We all knew she was dying, and I'd phoned her in the hospital the night before, and I lied and said, you know, have a good sleep, everything's going to be fine, and that. You know, so I'll tell a white lie like that when somebody clearly needed some rest. And
how many times did you meet Richard Gere?
Don't know.
What would you guess?
5, 6, maybe 5, 6 times.
That's it.
5-6 razy spotkała Gada w ciągu 3 miesięcy, ale wysłała mu parę maili, wysłała mu też list, była na jego stand-upie, dzielili te same żarty w pubie. To się w ogóle nie klei, bo jeżeli ja bym kogoś widziała taką garstkę razy, to no nie wysłałabym mi maila ani listu.
Yeah.
In your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think it's come to this, if that's all true?
I think he wanted to make money. I think he picked on somebody. There was a backstory there with that stalker article out there, right? So stalking's in vogue, going to prison's in vogue. What do writers say, or English lecturers or something, write about what you know?
And to people who are watching, look down the barrel of that camera. To people who are watching this and who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
I think you should watch this. I think you should look at the number of articles that Richard Gadd and Jessica, the actress, have done, and how Netflix and he have promoted this. I think you should look at him saying, I'm some sort of mental case, and judge for yourselves. Because I can't change your mind on this. I can just rebut what has been said. You need to make up your own minds. But my mind is made up. He's a liar. And my friends say likewise.
Fioną Harvey, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Ona nawet nie jest przekonana. Ona nawet nie jest przekonana tego, co mówi. Widzieliście to? Tak spojrzała na Pierce'a, że moim zdaniem ona sama nie jest przekonana, że wierzy w to, co mówi. Moi drodzy, zapraszam was oczywiście do rozmawiania, rozmów, dyskusji w komentarzach, co wy myślicie. Mi się wydaje, że zrobił się z tego cyrk. Zobaczymy, czy Richard teraz odpowie, czy co będzie dalej, co będzie się działo, czy będą te pozwy, czy nie będą. Ja to widzę tak, że Fiona nie jest 100% niewinna. nie ma opcji. To wszystko jest, no nie wiem, według niej ona widziała go parę razy, ale nie parę razy, wysłała parę wiadomości, ale nie parę wiadomości i on po prostu miał taką obsesję na jej punkcie, mimo tego, że jest homoseksualistą, że po prostu zamienił to w maszynkę do robienia pieniędzy. Ale on mógł to zrobić wcześniej. Dobra, może nie wcześniej, ale wiecie, no nie wiem, nie wszystko się tutaj klei. Ja wiem, że ona mogła być zdenerwowana podczas tego wywiadu, ale też jest bardzo szybka w atakowaniu, więc dajcie znać, co wy myślicie, a ja widzę się z wami już w kolejnym filmie. Do zobaczenia. Pamiętajcie o subskrypcji i obserwowaniu na Instagramie.